Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. It's game day. It's game day. Once again, they are flying thick and fast at us. I'm not sure if we need another one right now. I feel like it would be awesome if we had a couple of weeks off, but that's coming. We've got 2 more games to go first. We've got 2 more games to go, tough games. Tonight, we've got the Champions League. We've got the Champions League, the easier of the 2 on paper, but you never know with Copenhagen. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Copenhagen. We're going to talk about some transfer news, views, and clues. Jonathan David coming back to the zeitgeist. Could he realistically be leaving Juve 4 months after signing for them? Was it just a flip-flop, a Javiana special from Juve to bring in a player on a freebie, give him a few minutes here and there, but ultimately look to sell him for 30 to 35, 40 million maybe just a few months later? And if so, is that a problem for you? Do you fancy a bit of Jonathan David? Look, a guy that scored 20 goals a season every season for the last 4 or 5 apparently, and he's been doing it at all of the top levels, all of the levels: Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, playoffs, qualifiers, Europe, not Europe, the international stage with Canada. Mr. Consistent. And Lille, of course. Don't forget Lille. But since he's gone to Juve, 2 goals in 11 games. Sorry, is it a goal and an assist, I think, in 11 games? But he hasn't played a lot of minutes. He hasn't played too many minutes over there. You have to check out the amount of minutes he's played to really get a catch on that one. What about Rodrygo? Ladies and gentlemen, Rodrygo, that name that was around the zeitgeist in the summer. Well, it didn't work out. He stayed. It didn't work out. He's played 2 games. 2 games for Real Madrid all season so far. Shoehorned out of the team. And you have to look at the amount of players, you have to look at the amount of talent that is looking for minutes to try to get into that Brazil squad. João Pedro is a chance. Matheus Cunha is a chance. Vini Jr. is a chance. Paqueta, Richalison, Vitor Roque. The list goes on. There's loads more I can bring to your attention. Geezer out of Zenit St. Petersburg is in the squad as well. Is there a chance that Rodrygo has to play more minutes? Otherwise, maybe his position in the starting 11 or possibly even the squad is in jeopardy for the World Cup. And if so, is that the reason and the rationale for why the catalyst for him coming to the Premier League as early as January the 1st is amongst the zeitgeist and the conversation around the transfer news, views and clues this morning? And if he was to come to the Premier League, then you really have 3 major players that will be looking for a left winger that have a realistic chance of getting him. And that's Tottenham, that's Arsenal, and that is, of course, Liverpool. Now, at Liverpool, there's an argument to say he'll get maybe 35% of minutes. If you get Isak firing and Ekitike has to play off the left-hand side and you've got Salah on the right-hand side, that makes sense. So does he get to come to Liverpool and play as many minutes as are necessary? Maybe not. What about Arsenal? Well, he's already fighting with his compatriot, Gabriel Martinelli, for minutes in the Brazil team. Does he fancy coming to Arsenal and playing 20% of minutes? Arsenal fans might say he would start for Arsenal, and he might do. But what about Eze? What about Trossard? What about Martinelli? If you're looking for 100% of minutes, guys, if you're looking for 100% of minutes, if you're Rodrygo, and it's just a short-term 6-month loan to get himself front and centre in the Champions League, maybe Tottenham's the place to go. We're in the 4th, 5th, 6th position. It might not be too drastically unrealistic. It's still unlikely. It's still not the most likely outcome. The probability curve would suggest I'm way off. But I'm coming at this from a Tottenham bias, baby. I'm coming at this from the biggest bias that you know. And we're going to talk about that too. What about other stories that are out there? Hayden Hackney. Let's talk about it for a little while, guys. Smash the like button for me. The like button loves to be liked. It loves to be liked, like we all do in life. I'm not a fan of being disliked. We love to be liked. That like button, that thumb, needs to be drummed. Smash it for me. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Don't ask much from you. I don't ask much, but smash the subscribe button. We're on the march to 40k. It's been a slog. This season's been a slog. Since the start of the season, I think I've had about 100 subbies. Maybe, have I peaked? Has the channel peaked? Do I need to focus on other things? Do I need to go back to the corporate world? I hope not. I hope not. Smash the sub, though. Help a brother out, guys. Let's find out what's going on with the notification bell buttons. Are you squeezing that thing as well? Squeeze it for me. Give it a little rubber-dub-dub. Let's find out what is going on in the comment section. By the way, smash the comment section out of the park. We got to talk about some Copenhagen. We got to talk about the transfer news, views, and clues. And I want to also find out what's going on with you lot, because the fan base right now is in disarray. The fan base is divided. It's split. As always, it is split. Split it is. What I would say is that anyone that's parked in the camp of Thomas Frank has to go, and anyone that's parked in the camp of Thomas Frank can do no wrong, both of your arguments are littered with vulnerabilities. It's madness. There's a lot of room in the middle for balance. I'd suggest everybody comes into the middle and has a little dance. A lot of room in the middle of the road. You haven't got to be left wing or right wing on this one. Big up to you, Art. Hope you're okay, my man. Come on, you Spurs, he says. Destiny's in the house as well. Big up to you, Desto. How are you, my man? I've seen you already today a couple of times. Appreciate you, as always, Dest. I hope you're okay. Rensalari. Bonjour. Bonjour, my man. How are you? How are you? Comment ça va? Good to see you, buddy. Biggie Spurs. Realistically, what are the chances we sign Rodrygo? Well, like I say, like I just outlaid Biggie Spurs. Like I just outlaid. I genuinely think that there's a sales pitch there. There's a sales pitch that you could lean into. Will he come? Does he think he's too big for Tottenham? Probably, possibly. But you know what? We got Kolo Muani kicking and screaming, and look how that's worked out. Look how that works out. Been absolutely sensational, isn't it? Kolo Muani, what a dream. What a dream he's been. Nah, I'm not blaming him for that one. I'm just saying the reality is I think that you could make the argument that if you're looking for scratching around for minutes ahead of the World Cup, and you want to come to the Premier League and you want to play in the Champions League, I think you can make the argument pretty easily that unless he's cup tied, I don't think he's cup tied. I think there's the second squad, isn't there, at the end of January that you can refilter. I think you can make the argument to him that he's going to play more minutes at Tottenham than he is at Arsenal or Liverpool. Man City don't need him. They kept Savio, unless there's a change of heart there. Maybe we can go back in for him. Maybe he wants to. Don't forget, sorry, in all that list of names that I said at the start, right? I said, what did I say? João Pedro, Cunha, Richalison, Paqueta, the geezer at Zenit, Martinelli, Vinny Jr. Never-ending list of players that are talented that can play centrally on the right or on the left. Savio is also a name on there that needs to get some minutes, and he's not getting enough minutes. He's not getting enough minutes at all, so maybe we can go and resuscitate that one. Is it life support time? Clear. Right? Don't know. But Rodrygo, the story today, I think it makes sense. I think you could pitch it. I think I really do. He's on 350 grand a week, so it won't be easy. But, you know, maybe Xabi Alonso. I mean, listen, Xabi Alonso is kind of like prioritising the likes of Arda Güler. He's prioritising players like Mastantuono. He's prioritising a lot of players ahead of Rodrygo. And then you've got, obviously, Vinny in front of him. So I'm not sure it's that crazy. I'm not sure it's that crazy at all. If Wolves go down, we can get Strand Larsen. I don't want Strand Larsen. I don't want Strand Larsen at all. He's a good player, but he's just another donut for me. Like, he'll get a few goals. He's a good player, but not a great player. Don't want Strand Larsen, Spurs Nepal. Good to see you, though. Spurs Kings in the house. Let's fogging go, guys. Let's fogging go. Big up to you, my man. Matt Watson, Mathys Tel as a centre forward for Spurs has 8 starts as a centre forward. I've got the hiccups. Why? What's that got to do with anything? I'm not sure what that has to do with anything, but interesting stat. 8 starts as a centre forward. And Marshall, no chance. Get content, but you get the content has got to content. Maybe not though. Maybe not. Listen, I've been talking about the Rodrygo, the Spurs thing since the summer. It didn't happen. But you know what? Like everything in life, you can kick the can and say it's not happened yet. I'm not wrong. I'm just not right yet. That's what I'm saying, Marshall. And I think that this one you could spin into a narrative that has a little bit of legs. And even if you disagree, you're going to watch the video anyway, because when the way I title my videos, they're click-worthy. No, we are not getting Rodrygo, says Spurs Nepal. He doesn't want this mess team who lacks attacking gameplay. He doesn't want to ruin his image coming here right now to be in that mess. It's only a mess because we haven't got... Well, that's what some people are saying. Some people are saying the only... Like, Thomas Frank can't do anything different. He has no options. We haven't got the players. As though our team are full of misfits. What are we doing here? We've got some top talent. 8 of our first 11 everybody's happy with. And that's the first 11 with the injury crisis. Decky comes back, not a problem. 9, slide him in. You know? Destiny Udogie comes back, that's fine. We just need a midfielder, a striker, and Dominic Solanke's not horrendous. Richalison is, we'll grant you that. Mathys Tel, not ready. I can see that. On the left-hand side, you've got Odogie. We're going to have to talk about this tonight as well, by the way, because Kudus is a vacuum. Right? Mohamed Kudus is a vacuum. And what happens when you go near a vacuum, like the black hole or like a gravity belt, right? You end up getting sucked in. And I think that whilst he sucks the ball towards him, what he also sucks towards him are 2 other players. And because most teams now have figured out you stop Kudus to the largest extent, you kind of suffocate Tottenham's chances. Well, Kudus might not be in the first 11 tonight. He's injured, or he was kind of injured. So he might be on the bench. Maybe it was a little bit of fool's gold from from Thomas Frank. And we might find ourselves in a situation, guys, where Kudus is fit and is firing. But if he isn't, then there's 2 takes from that. One is chance for somebody else to step up, chance for somebody else to get more of the ball. Could that be Mathys Tel? Could that be Odogie? Could that be Xavi Simons? Could that be Kolo Muani? Look, I've got some stats on Copenhagen. You know what? I'm so sad that I didn't buy a ticket. I'm torn. I'm torn because on the one hand, I don't want to spend 70 quid to go and watch what is probably going to be an inevitable bore fest. But on the other hand, you're going to have the Danish version of Helga's frittered around all of the bars in Tottenham Hotspur from around the High Road from about now until 8 o'clock and then maybe after the game. Could have got you some Helga content. In fact, you know what? I might put a poll out. Shall I end the show at 4:30, jump on the train and go Helga shopping? Helga searching? Shopping sounds more Viva Street. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I'm selling it to myself as I'm talking to you. End the stream, Sean. Go and put your glad rags on. Let's go Helga shopping. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Why did I forget? Listen, I don't care about the football. I can sit in the bar and go, listen, what is this? What is a Copenhagen version of a Helga? Someone Google Danish girls' names. Danish women's names. Pardon. Gotta be careful. Got to be careful. What are we doing here? Let's see what the chat's saying. No, you horny bugger, Shawnee. Bloody hell. Go Helga shopping, Sean says, ghosted. Tickets are still on sale. There's loads of tickets. There's about 40,000. There's about 20,000 tickets. You can get Helgas cheaper elsewhere. I'm not talking about going on Viva Street, Kim. I'm talking about just going out and, yeah, I need a poll. Let's get a poll. What are we doing here? Okay. I'm going to poll this one up. Should I? Okay. Watch along or Helga? Ingrid. We're going to call it Ingrid. Watch along. There you go. All right. I might actually, if it's overwhelming one way or the other, I might genuinely actually just end the stream and get my shit together. There's the poll. What are we doing here? Heidi. Oh, yeah, meaning matters off your pop. Elle put out a poll. That'll score the Helgas. What are we doing here? Sophia? Sophia is a Danish name, is it? The most popular names are and R. And thanks, go home. Yeah, go home, England. Go home. Clara, Alma. Someone's done some work. Ingrid. Going to be mostly bearded Vikings. Yeah, you don't want to get messed up with those lot, do you? There'll be a couple of Friedas out there. There'll be a couple of Friedas out there. Guys, Astrid. What a name. What a name. Elisa, how are you? How are you? Anyone voting watch along is selfish. Yeah, I'll put out the content. Yeah, so I feel like I'm going to be Danny Boy 83 from Twitter and Instagram out there. Guys, listen, let's for the time being, at least, whilst we're waiting for that poll to percolate, let's talk a little bit about this, right? So, what's the chances with Copenhagen today? Well, look, Copenhagen, for what it's worth, they have played 14 matches in the Danish Superliga. They played 3 in the Champions League. They sit 4th in the Superliga with 25 points. They've got 7 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses, a +9 goal difference. Only 1 point. They've drawn 1 and lost 2 in the Champions League. They sit 32nd in the standings overall. But listen, over all 25 matches they've played this season, Copenhagen, they've scored 50 goals but have conceded 30. So they're banging in 2 goals a game, but they're also conceding more than a goal a game. And this is in the Danish league, where Midtjylland, who are sitting top of the Europa League, 3 wins from 3, don't even sit top of the Superliga. So it's a bit of a competitive league in the Danish league, but it's also, it's not particularly a league full of like worldies. There's not a lot of household names in the footballing side at Copenhagen. There's the guy Mukoko. I'm not sure how you say his name. The guy that was at Dortmund. He was like a super talent, a worldie or whatever at 17. He's now 20. He's been at Copenhagen now for a little while. This season, as I say, 2 goals per game. Mukoko has got 8 goals total. He's got 8 goals this season, so he's had a bit of a decent season across the 2 competitions. They've also got Jordan Larson, and they've got the guy who used to be at Southampton, Mohamed El Yunusi. Both of those guys have got 5 goals each. So most of their threat comes from 3 different places. Stop Larson, stop El Yunusi, stop Mukoko, and you should be okay. Balanced squad, generally balanced. Decent quality up front, can play technical, tricky football, guys. And they look to exploit transitions, which is going to be something they're going to try and do tonight. Because if Tottenham are going to have a lot of possession, which you'd imagine they would at home, against a team that's weaker and inferior on paper, they're going to do the exploit. And that's fine. We just got to be handy at the back. So we're going to talk about how we're going to sort that out. But they also do... they're pretty good at press resistance. They create 2.1 chances a game from the press resistance. Okay, so if we're doing a press on them if we're pressing, if we don't have the ball and they're doing transitional kind of low blocks, sort of forcing us into horseshoe, and we press them, they actually create 2 decent chances every 2.1, more than 2 chances every game against the press, right? And this is Champions League and Superliga meshed. So I don't know too much about the Danish league. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I do. They are undefeated in key away qualifiers in the Champions League from the qualification thing. 5 wins from 7 away in the Superliga as well. 17 goals for them, 10 goals against. They're a tough road opponent, and obviously we are shockingly bad at home at the moment. But listen, defensive weaknesses and inconsistencies. They're a team that we can get at. They can see 1.43 goals per 90 in the league, and in the Champions League they lost to Karabag 2-0 and to Dortmund as well. So they're also a team, guys. As far as in my research, what I've looked at, my assumption is that they are a team that we can get at in the second half. They really do fatigue in the second half. So it's hopefully a game that we can start well in but finish stronger. With no excuses for me, we have to win tonight. Absolutely have to win tonight. Look at Foxy. Foxy's in the house. Foxy's followed us over from Football Inc. This is a Newcastle fan who knows everything about every player, every top talent. This guy is the guy to go to. Is Moukoko really 20? Well, we don't know if he's really 20, mate. You're right. There were rumours about a fake passport and all that bollocks, weren't there? But according to official documentation, Moukoko is 20. Foxy, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. We've got a super chat from a long-term member. 26 months of unbelievable loyalty. We appreciate you very much, Martin. I hope you're okay, my man. And look at that size of that dog, bro. Look at the size of your dog. Your dog's head is bigger than yours. Either you've got a very small head or your dog is maybe the perspective. Maybe he's right in front of the camera. But either way, the dog's head is kicking ass in that one. And I wouldn't want to get bitten by him. He says West Ham fans did say this about Kudus. What was that about? Is that about the Rodrygo story? That he wouldn't come. He wouldn't come. Listen. I don't expect Rodrygo to come. It's one of those things. Like I said, I think I said this to Johnny the other day. Not about this story particularly, but about anything in the footballing world. If there's a chance, if there's a glimmer of a hope, it's like putting 50 quid on or 50 pence on a 40 game accumulator or a penny share investment. You put some money away, you let it forget about it. You expect it to go to zero, but if by chance it all comes in, or if that penny share becomes a blue chip, then you're laughing in a few years' time. And I think the Rodrygo story, I'm just saying that Paratici knows a thing or two about selling a story, selling a thing or two. He knows how to pitch a play. And to me, I think you could go to Rodrygo's agents right now and say, look, you're not playing at Real Madrid. Look at the 8, 9, 10 players that are chomping at the bit for your position or the 9 role or the right wing or even the 10. Look at what they're doing at their relative clubs and recognise that Ancelotti might be looking at and thinking, all right, you might make the squad, but at the moment you're not going to be part of the team because you're not fit, you're not playing, you're not doing anything. Well, I'm forgetting about you, Roddy. I'm forgetting about you. Go to Arsenal. Sure, you might win the league, but you ain't going to be really a part of it. You might be a part of it. You might be a big part of it, but the chances are that you're going to have to share your minutes. And in order for you to make an impact, you're going to have to be a star among stars. You're going to have to be Polaris. You're going to have to be the second or the first brightest star in the sky amongst already an impeccable amount of stardom in that system. And there's a lot of players that are in that same position as him. A lot. You've got to get above Eze. You've got to get above Trossard. You've got to get above Martinelli. If Gabriel Jesus gets back, he's another player that, by the way, is competing for those minutes as well in the Brazil team. There's all sorts of competition there. Go to Liverpool. All right, maybe not. You get more minutes. But at Tottenham, you're going to be star boy. You're going to be the only star in the sky that is penetrating through the clouds. So you put in a good shift, you're going to get 100% of minutes as long as you're fit. And you're going to play at the Champions League level. You're going to play in the Premier League. Hopefully, we can continue our system. He could be the trigger for us to do things. Remember, guys, and this is my pitch to Paratici. Fabio, if you're listening to this, and big up to you, El Dante, as well. All the best to everyone. All the best to you, my man. Thank you very much as well for your unbelievable loyalty. 18 months of Butler. Poor you. I should be buying you a drink, and I will, if ever I meet you. Let's go to a game today. Let's find out what the poll is saying, shall we? Am I going tonight? Let's have a look-see. What's the poll saying? What is the poll saying? 55, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. There's no energy. All right, we're doing the watch-along then. It's only 84 votes. I'll let that one fly for a little bit. I'm surprised. I thought you guys would be telling me to get myself out there, and even if I can't find a proper Dane, you know. You are the problem with Spurs fans, you dumb fuck. Good to see you. Nobody, it's me one. Bro, there's no problem with Spurs fans. There's only problem with people who think that Spurs fans who have different opinions to you are a problem. How about go fuck yourself, you fucking idiot, and let's carry on with the show. Sean, what makes you think Rodrygo's not going to start over all of them? You're mad. Over all of who? Over all of the Arsenal fans. I'm saying that there's the pitch. I'm not saying you must reverse back. Go back 20 seconds to what I said. I said, I don't think it's going to happen. I said, but if you want to have a take on it and spin the story, there's a story to spin. He's going to get more minutes at Tottenham. He's going to get more minutes at Tottenham. You think Eze's not going to be unhappy if Rodrygo comes in and Eze gets sidelined more? Gabriel Martinelli, who's been a baller this season for Arsenal, you think he's going to be happy? Is he going to leave in January the second Rodrygo comes in? Because he's going to sit there and say, where's my minutes coming from now? I need to play in the Brazilian team as well. I need to get my minutes up. There's narratives here. There's insights. There's angles. And there's abilities to manifest a sales pitch is all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry about the trolls, Destiny. You ain't got to block anybody for saying that shit. It's all good. It's all good, bro. I don't care. It's all good, man. I don't need people blocking my my content creators, my audience. I'll just handle them myself by calling them fucking idiots. Anyway, let's carry on. So the Rodrygo thing for me, it's unlikely, 100%. It's a 1 in 10 chance. But why not? Why not? What's the harm? Why not? It's like me going up to the Helgas. You know, chances are they're going to say not interested. Okay. What happens if she says yes? What happens if she says yes, lads? What happens if Rodrygo says, okay, I'll come to Tottenham? Does it mean all our problems are over? No. Is there still a requirement for a man called Thomas Frank to lean into some creativity, to some on-the-ball stuff? Yes, there is. He's got to do his job. Thomas Frank has to figure out the way to get the best out of our team. And you know what? I was listening to Jamie Carragher on the show on Monday Night Football, and I thought he made some interesting points. I don't agree with him when he said that that Palhinha is not good enough for the Premier League. I think he's making the point that Palhinha is not good enough at progressing the ball forward. But you know what? The responsibility of Palhinha to progress the ball forward lies more heavily on his shoulders without Romero, because Romero is the best passer in the Premier League in the defensive realms. And so if you have a situation where Romero's back in the team, then I don't think you necessarily need to play Palhinha every time, by the way. I made this pitch on today's video. I said, people think that going to a back three is more defensive. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be at all. But if there's truth to the argument that Palhinha can't progress the ball forward, and I think there's an element of truth to that. But actually, if you look at the heat maps, say that 1 second, guys. If you look at the heat maps of Bentancur and Palhinha over the last 3 or 4 home games, you'll actually see that Palhinha has more of an advanced role than Palhinha on average, which is madness. And Bentancur is just pushing those balls sideways. So Bentancur to me is the problem. I get told all the time that I'm wrong about this. Very confident other creators and that say Bentancur's not the issue. I think Bentancur is the issue. I really do. But if you have Palhinha and then Palhinha has the option to hand the ball over to Romero, then Romero can force the issue, can push the ball up the field with far more consummate ease than either Palhinha has the capability to do or Bentancur has the confidence to do. If you play a back three with Romero in the back three and you release Udogie as the left wing back that he was supposed to be and Pedro Porro as the right wing back that he was supposed to be, and you put Kevin Danso on the right side, Micky van der Ven on the left side, you don't need Palhinha, even at home. And this narrative that a back three at home is a defensive model, it isn't. It's just a way of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You can put Romero in the middle with the ball. Romero can move up into the defensive midfield role and progress the ball better than about 75% of midfielders in the Premier League, let alone 99% of defenders, 100% of defenders in the Premier League. He can sit up as a defensive midfielder with the ball. Even without the ball, he can come forward and crunch players as long as the wing backs get back. It really isn't a problematic solution. I don't know why we haven't done it. I don't know why there's this narrative that because you're playing 3 at the back, you're immediately more defensive. You're not, as long as you have the right personnel for it and that the wing backs are therefore doing things that are more aggressive. It becomes more of a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3 than a 5 at the back that some people interpret it to be. It's absolute madness. Absolute madness. So for me, hang on a second. Someone's calling me. Lubo, should we put Lubo on live stream? Let's put Lubo on the live stream. 1 second. Let's do this. Ian Lubin, you are on live stream. Choose your words carefully.
Live stream? I thought it came on at 5 o'clock. Good afternoon.
You're literally getting pumped through the microphone right now. I've seen people say, Lubo. What's going on, mate?
There you go. What am I on? Spurs Talk Show?
Yeah, Spurs Talk Show. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Good, mate. Good. Listen, I've got to get back to the show. What's going on?
I was just ringing to say, because I thought I saw 5 o'clock. I was just going to say, well, I'm going to be on the motorway. Are you okay if I'm calling from there? So that was all.
Well, the answers we're on now. You can join in right now. I've got to go because I've got Chris. Chris has just joined the show as well. So you want to jump? You want to jump in or not?
I'll come off. I'll jump on. Okay.
I'll send you the link. How are you, Chris? Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, I'm all right, man. Yeah, that was amusing. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm all right, buddy. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm excited about tonight, and I think that Tottenham will. I think it's going to be a boring game, Chris. But I genuinely think that Tottenham, like Copenhagen, are a team that travel well in at least generally for this season. They've struggled in the Champions League. They've got 3 players that are the people that score the vast majority of their goals. And I think that we can handle them. I think we should be able to put in a decent performance. What's your thoughts, though?
I mean, we should. There's no, there's not a question if you're doing a squad comparison, right? That we should. But with where we are, I think that makes it possibly a little bit of a no-win situation for Thomas Frank, if I'm honest. Because if we win, if we perform well, it will be, well, it's Copenhagen. We're expected to do that.
Yeah.
And if we don't, there could be some sort of epic meltdown going on, I should imagine. So, yeah. I don't know how it's going to go, mate. I mean...
Are you going to the game?
Yeah, I am, yeah. So, yeah, I'll probably...
What time are you leaving?
I don't know. It's just... But Waze is telling me that the traffic is extremely light, which I struggle to believe when I've got the M1 and the M25 to do. So,
right.
But I don't know. I'll probably leave about 5-ish, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting to see if the poll that I put out has gone one way or the other, and it hasn't. It's 53. Like, people are 50-50 on whether I should go and chase down a Danish lady tonight or stay behind and do a live stream. So
just have a Danish bacon sandwich, mate, in celebration.
Yeah, I've had a lot of Danish bacon sandwiches in my life. Mate, let's talk a little. Oh, there he is. We've got Lubo's coming in. Big up to you, Lubo. How are you?
All good. You?
Good. Chris, you know Lubo, don't you?
Yeah. He almost sits next to me at the ground, to be fair.
Yeah. You going later, Chris?
I am, mate. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
So, Chris, you were saying that
another hard watch, but as long as we get the week.
Oh,
go on.
Lubo's already on the delay. Chris, you were saying that Thomas Frank's he's doomed. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. If he wins tonight, it's going to be where you're expected to. If he loses tonight, he's going to be on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah, well, put it this way: I don't think those who are jumping on the Frank bandwagon will change their view tonight, no matter what happens. Really, so in that sense, at least, I think he's not going to win anybody over if you're kind of against Frank. But I'm very much on the patient side. Although at the same time, I think we have to recognise that it's really early for him. That's all fine. It's going to take a long time, but that doesn't mean that those sort of performances that we saw on Saturday should be acceptable, right? He should be getting more out of the players than that. So there's a small element of mild concern for me, but it's still so early that I'm fully behind him at the moment, for sure.
Lubo, same question to you, my man. I'm going to take you off mute because of your road noise. So I'm just going to take you off mute and bring you in, and I'll put you back on mute again. Lubo, do you think that is Thomas Frank? What's the situation with Thomas Frank right now?
Go on.
Are the fans going to be tolerant of?
Oh, I'm going in and out here.
It's always the same with Lubo on the road. Nightmares.com. Lubo, let me finish my statement, then I'll shut up and let you answer.
I'll come back to you.
Is Thomas Frank on a hiding to nothing? Is the fan base going to give him the credit, like give him the backing that he's been begging for backing? all the last couple of days in the press conference. Is he going to get the backing tonight from the fans? What are you guys going to do?
Are we talking about Frank in or out here?
No, just about Frank getting the support, getting the players, getting the support that he needs tonight. Fucking hell, that was Jesus Christ. That was hard work. That was hard work. He's dropped out. I don't know what's going on. He's disappeared. And Chris has gone at the same time to answer the phone. You know what I'll do? I'll bring it back to just me for the second. When Chris comes back, I'll bring him back in. I'm sorry, guys. This is what we do. This is what we do. I don't know what you want from me. Let me ask the chat this, right? Are the fans going to back the manager this evening? Are they going to back the team? Are they going to get behind and sing the songs? Or is it going to be kind of much for muchness? It's going to be a 50-50 empty stadium, 60% full, I would say. Are those people that are there going to make up the difference? Because I'll tell you what, if Tottenham don't get the result tonight, then it's going to be meltdowns. And you know what? We're going to be doing a show potentially on the Spurs 5 at 10:30. Probably if we lose. If we win, we can probably hold off and wait until Thursday to discuss it. But if we lose, you know, clicks are going to click and views are going to view, aren't they? So let me know your thoughts. What's the chat saying here? Ludo pleading the fifth. Yeah, he's back. He's back. Let's try him again. Let's see if he's going to come in now. There he is, Lubo. Lubo.
What's happened to Chris?
He's just jumped off.
Where's Chris gone?
He's gone to get a phone call, mate. Oh.
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
For fuck's sake. Can't do this. Oh my God. Production quality of an absolute chimpanzee. What are we doing here? What are we doing? You know what? At this stage, I might just end the stream and go to Tottenham. See if I can go and get myself a Heidi high. Let me just get back to the chat. Let's get back to the chat and see what the chat was saying. This is the worst show ever. Not too late to go to the game. Yeah, I mean, I might end up doing that, to be honest. I might end up doing that. What's going on here? Yeah, Danny wants to come on. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. There you go, Danny boy. Danny's going to come and join us, save the day. Danny's going to come on and see what's going on. So funny. Poor old Lubo. Always the same. Let me ask you guys this, right? Is there any chance that if Tottenham were to lose tonight, is there any chance at all that a loss to Manchester United and a loss to Arsenal on the other side of the international break? And I think the Arsenal one is pretty inevitable, to be honest. I'm not saying inevitable, but like the highest probability is that you're going to lose that game. If we were to have a really shit show performance tonight and a bad performance against Manchester United, is there any chance that I can see people saying, don't say it. I'm not going to say it. Is there any chance that the ENIC owners put their hands in their pocket and draw enough money out of the bank to be able to give us what we can, what we can to make something work? What I was actually going to say was, is there any chance that that the fan base might go into such a meltdown mode that there would be some sort of relieving of duties? I can't believe it. I'm not advocating for it in any way, shape, or form. But the fan base does seem to be on a toxic edge. It's madness. I think last night on the Spurs 5, we were talking about. I think it was Johnny or Stel that was saying it's a hangover from the Ange era, and that because of the 2025 home form being so bad, that there is that kind of narrative that doesn't matter whether it's a new project, new process. It doesn't matter. The fact is we haven't seen any good football at the stadium, and so that the intolerance of imperfection is at peak levels. And I think there is some truth to it, but I also don't think that there's any blame on. Like, I don't think that Thomas Frank gets a pass because Ange Postecoglou, wasn't doing it either. because ultimately the reason why he's got the job in the first place is because that's why any manager gets the job in the first place, is because there's those sorts of, because of the previous endeavours of the previous guy. Dan, welcome back to the show, mate. Welcome, mate.
No, mate.
Bring some cohesion. This has been a madness. Like first 25 minutes, been absolutely mental here. How you doing, buddy? You okay?
Yeah, getting on with things. I suppose half looking forward to the game tonight. Hoping we can do an improvement. Well, it shouldn't be hard to do an improvement on Chelsea. That was got to be one of the most boneless, spineless games I've seen us play.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to man up on that one in that aspect and get our act together, basically. Because if we play anything like that, I think we're capable of losing to anybody. But with who we've got, team we've got, and that manager, we should be doing them tonight about 2-1, I reckon. It's a game you've got to look at and say we've got the capability of winning.
Do you have any particular preference of the team selection tonight, Dan?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to check it out properly yet. I mean, I think most people know I'd still rather play with a 3-4-2-1. I think when you put that together, it still matches this team better. I don't think nothing's really changed in it. We've got better players to play in positions we already had covered as such. We got no one on the left. We haven't got anyone who can play it in the middle. Up front, we don't know what's happening. Porro gets destroyed every time on the right-hand side because he's not defensive. I think put it as a 3-4-2-1, you take out most of your problems.
So
I don't think that'll happen.
So would that be a situation of Danso on the right, Romero stepping up into the DM role, and then Micky van der Ven on the left-hand side? By the way, Micky van der Ven and someone else, I forget who it is on a yellow card. If they get a yellow card tonight, they're missing out on the PSG game. Big deal.
I think, yeah, definitely. That one is a massive one. I think what a lot of people don't realise is that 3 at the back isn't out-and-out defending. It's not all out defence. If anything, with 3 at the back, you can push harder than 4 at the back because you've got the 3 at the back to cover. The way I'd do it is I'd have Danso in the middle, Romero on the right, and Van der Ven on the left. I'd have them two as my ball-playing defenders, press it, pass it a little bit when needed. I'd have Danso, no nonsense, no mess about, old-school John Terry style. You just do your job there. Then in the middle, got Paulinho to come back to cover if I need to. And then I've got a choice, Bentancur, Sarr, whatever next to him. Porro, Udogie, or at the moment, I might even go Spencer Udogie because Porro has been pretty poor. And in front of that, I stick Kudus in the middle. He's proved he can do that job more than good enough. Have him as like a target man. Savvy, finally put him in the 10 position and see what we can get out of him as a playmaker. Both drift out wide if they want to, or one at a time. You can't mark Kudus out the game then either, because when he's out wide, the left back and the centre back, they just mark him up, and the midfield. Put him in the middle, then they're going to have someone come in from the left-hand side or right-hand side to mark him up. That leaves them totally open there, so they won't do that. And then obviously I think we stick Moana out front. I don't think we got much other option. And personally, I think you look at that, it looks better than anything you could put down as a 4-2-3-1 to the point where we stuck Berghvall on the left.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree. The only thing I would say is I was listening to Jamie Carragher's analysis of Paulinho. I don't think he was saying anything that was too insightful regarding his where he lacks. I don't think he gave him the credit where it's due for the things that he's good at. But when he's saying that there was the reason why nobody bought him in the Premier League, that's madness. He wanted to go to Bayern Munich. That was just that's a load of nonsense from him. But what I would say is if you're going to go to a back three in a game like this, again, I think the narrative should be clear that a back three doesn't mean defensive. I 100% agree with that. Dan,
people think it does, though. It's the first thing they always say. No, we can't do that at home. That's disgraceful. It's not. I watch Italian football, and 3 at the back is not out defence. It can be used like that.
Yeah, I agree. I would just say that if you're going to do that, then you don't need to have Paulinho in a game like this. Because I think that if you've got a Romero in the defence that can move forward into the DM role, that is a better progressive passer than a player like Paulinho, then you're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You have the ability for when we don't have the ball, for him to step up and crunch if you need to, or for him to be stepping back and disciplined into a back 5. But Romero, for me, can do that DM role that can then progress the ball forward when we do have the ball.
What you're saying there, yeah? I've had people swear down blind that when I said that before, it was basically a stupid comment and he wouldn't be able to do it. If we want to go back on it, go back to the PSG game. Now, personally, I think Archie Gray coming on there was a big mistake in a game like that. Personally, what I would have done there is put Romero as the DM role, basically, because I think he's got more than enough capability of covering it. And then who I can as the defensive. And I got told he cannot handle a DM role. He's not that sort of player. Nobody plays him there. And of course Romero can handle a DM role.
Of course he
Whereas
can.
a lot of people told me he can't. A lot of people told me he hasn't got that capability.
He absolutely can. I just think if you're playing him in a back four, but then you're playing him in the defensive midfield role with a traditional back four, I think that is going to be problematic for him because he wants to make sure his spot is secured for the centre back role in the Argentinian team. You play in a back four, and there's not too many players that play in a back four for their club or for their country, but playing a DM role for their club.
For me, it's more just for the situation sort of thing, not on a regular basis, but in that situation with 15 minutes left to go, that is what I would have done with him, basically, because he could have helped it out better than others sitting there doing it. I think he can cover a DM if he has to for a game or two.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree, and I actually think he's better passer on the ball progressively than. But the people in the chat that are saying that a back three is defensive, like you're thinking of it as a back five, guys. You're thinking of it as a back five. It's not. It's a back three with 4 men in the midfield, with Porro being more advanced and with Udogie being more advanced, that can get forward and then float back into a back five when they're under the cosh, and then doing a horseshoe football kind of defensive model. Like, people have to stop thinking of a back three as like an extra man in defence. It's actually one fewer people in defence. It's one fewer, and then you're giving the license for Udogie and for Porro to do the things that they used to do so well when they were at their previous clubs. Yeah, for me, I think that the kind of the zeitgeist, like the perception of a back three, is so far from the way it has to be perceived in reality, or the way it actually translates into reality. If you give the license to get forward the way that it can be implemented, it's just not often implemented in that way. But it doesn't.
That's what wing backs are for, isn't it? That is what Porro is, and Udogie. They are wing backs. This is why Porro gets cooked 9 times out of 10 in the defensive manner, because he's not a defensive-minded player. And he was one of the best wing backs in Europe, attacking wise. He gets it right here and there in defence, but they always focus on him. Take Kudus out of the game, out on the right, and then just go put it down the right-hand side on Porro. Nearly every team does it to us because defence it's not him. He's attacking. He can cross. He can pass. He can run with the ball.
Actually, I agree with you, mate. Anyone that's telling you you're wrong on that one, sorry, my opinion is that they're wrong to say that you're wrong. Chris, are you free to come back into the conversation, or you're on mute? But that's your side.
I am. At some point, the garage is going to ring me because I need a new tyre. But aside from that, no, I'm all good. All good.
What's your take on Dan's take, mate? Like, I don't disagree. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think we've seen any evidence of it being a part of the system. But as an option, Thomas Frank is supposed to be the professor. He's supposed to be the guy with multiple systems up his sleeve. He's supposed to be the guy with multiple options and ideas. And one of the criticisms that I have for him, imbalance. I'm not wedded to or married to any narrative of like Frank in, undeniably, Frank out, undeniably. I don't care. Like, he wasn't my first choice. So I'm open-minded to him. Give him time. But I bought into him on the notion that he had many different game plans, and we haven't really seen too many of those, Chris. Yeah. I'm not sure if back three is something we're going to see anytime soon, but it should be something that we can see at some point, right?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't think tonight's the night, if I'm honest, but I have no issue with it, especially when your go-to formation is currently clearly not working, right? You've got to try something else. And I agree. I'm not across the exact details, Dan, of how you put it over. So if I get some of them wrong, correct me. But the basic principle, I have no issue with, of, try and leverage Porro and Udogie to be more attacking, right? If we do go with it, I'd kind of like to see whatever you want to call this, back three, whatever. I wouldn't mind seeing what we did at Wembley under Poch, where you had Eric Dyer kind of in that defensive midfield position, but when we lost the ball, he just moved back, right, and it became like 3 central defenders. I think you can do that. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. It's perhaps a slightly more attacking version of that formation than just playing Romero down the but in principle, I wouldn't do it tonight. but I'd have no problem if he did this. Especially thinking of our games coming up. We've got our next 2 away games at Arsenal and PSG, right?
Yeah.
So, and I also subscribe, Sean. I heard you say this, I think, last night on the Spurs 5 around the point of that formation is if you're getting bullied in central midfield, well, don't go through central midfield, bypass it. I think that's kind of common sense to me. So I'd be all for it. I'm not against it on the basis of it's negative. I don't think it has to be. Some of the best attacking football we've seen at times over the last 10 years has been playing similar sort of way. So it definitely can work. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah, Lubo, welcome back, mate. Welcome back, buddy. Your background noise is incredibly noisy. But I'm going to let you. So what I'll do, we'll try this one last time. With hopefully the delay's not too bad. Mate, great to have you on, buddy. We're talking right now about the setup for Copenhagen. Dan and I have been positing the idea of a back three. We don't expect it to happen tonight, but it needs to be tried at some point. And I think Chris just made a really good point that we've got a couple of really tricky games coming up away from home, and it would be nice to be able to have that at least somewhat tested, experimented with before we go and potentially implement it in areas or in games where it's a little bit more of an obvious tactic. So what's your take, Lubo? How would you see the Copenhagen game going?
I would play 3 at the back, Porro and Udogie wing backs, Polina and Bentancur in the middle, and depending on injury, you're looking at Kudus or Johnson, I suppose, with Mwani and Odegaard. I presume, or Simmons on the left. I don't, what else is he going to do? He doesn't have the players, does he?
No, you're right. He doesn't have the players, mate. I do think we should probably talk a little bit about that. Lubo, you're all over the place here, mate. Hang on.
I'll try and sort the background noise out. I'll come back to you.
Sound like he's in a bloody tank.
Substitute.
Michael, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, mate. You okay?
Yeah, likewise, boys. Yeah, listen, I had a tough day at job. It's kind of funny. I have a tough day at my current job, but I just got a call from a different company, and they want me to take the last interview and probably join them. So it's been a good and a bad day. So
Good luck to you. I hope that works out, buddy. Good luck to you, man. Like, hopefully. Life is more important than football chat. But hopefully,
I've learned about that for the past year, right? Like, if I seriously let Tottenham get to me during the past 12 months, I would be probably like dead somewhere, right? So I just had to, distance myself from it all. Because, like,
I'm going to echo a point that I heard Sean say at some point in the last few months. If you let Spurs impact your life away from just basically the game, you got your priorities badly wrong in life, man. We all love it and we're all invested in it, but it shouldn't impact you. There's more important things in life, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I think that's also part of the problem. I was talking to Sava actually on the phone earlier. I was taking the dog out, and we were sort of discussing about the fact that as YouTubers and to people that watch every day, people that participate every day in all the chats, and I see obviously the same names all the time. Like we have to kind of go through everything with the nth level of minutia to find new things to talk about. But if you go to the stadium and you meet someone that doesn't even know you exist, doesn't know anything about you, and they're just someone that goes to the game, and then when they leave, they go back to their normal life, their family life, their jobs, whatever else. They're not thinking about Thomas Frank or Daniel Levy or the stadium or the atmosphere. They're not thinking about these things to the depth that we are. And I think it's probably a happier life, right? Like they can just sort of dial in and dial out of football for the match days, and then they can still come to the same conclusions without needing to go through all of the detail, Michael.
Yeah, agreed. There's nothing more to add, right? Like I was a person when I started supporting Spurs, I was really getting into the games and I was feeling so frustrated when we lost. Especially, maybe the feeling was also different because we had like supposedly world-class managers back then with Kane and so on. So I always felt like there was the ability to win a game. So when we were just choking and Eric Dyer was, I don't know, passing the ball back to Salah for a one-on-one, like against Liverpool at home, I think 3 seasons ago it was, I was really getting frustrated by that, right? Because I felt like we always had a chance of winning the game. And 2 years under Ange, or like best part of 2 years under Ange, taught me that, listen, if I was supposed to be upset over 10 players effing up during the game, right, and then just getting it into my head and thinking about it for the whole week, I just decided to...
Mike, you do that, you end up like that, don't you? You do that too much, so you end up like...
I just decided to go like day by day, and listen, if we win, I am super ecstatic. If we lose, I just shrug my shoulders and listen. I know Spurs ain't winning the league. I know we aren't winning the Champions League unless we do a madness this season, but it's like the possibility is close to zero, right? So I just take it game by game. I want to see my team play with a brain, let's call it, right? Because I think for the best part of last 18 seasons, we were just like clueless chickens on the pitch, right? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And right now I'm just, approaching it from a point of view like, listen, we win, great. We lose. Okay,
do you know what, Chris? Right, I want to ask this to the chat. Chris, I'll start with you. Is there a chance, like what Michael's saying there? I completely agree with him, and I think that most of the fan base who don't participate in the YouTube, waffle generally, that they feel the same. So on that basis, because we're not going to win the Premier League, we're not going to win the Champions League, we're now not going to win the Carabao Cup, and likelihood is we're not going to win the FA Cup because the same 5 teams win 90% of the trophies, and we also don't have any jeopardy of relegation. Is that a catalyst? Is that reality the reason, the rationale as to why it is that fans are demanding of more attractive football?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I can only give you my perspective, which I know is very similar to yours, Sean, which is essentially the winning of the trophies is the cherry on the icing on the cake for me. But I can still have quite a nice cake. Thank you very much without it. And for me, it's all about, just because we're not, let's be honest, are we likely to win anything this season? Very, very unlikely. And that's true of any given season, right? You're always, when you're where you are in the pecking order as Tottenham, you're always fairly unlikely to win a trophy because you've got a City and a Liverpool and an Arsenal.
And also almost very unlikely to get relegated.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your perspective on football? But mine has always been that, as you would put it, it's about the journey. And there's so many points along that give, not so much in the last couple of years, but that give me joy, right? I don't subscribe to the got to be winning a trophy for it to mean anything, because if that's true, then like Lucas Moura's last-minute goal at Ajax meant nothing. And I just can't buy into that. Some of the greatest moments in the last few seasons, obviously that one, I was at Leicester when we scored twice in the sort of 95th, 96th minute to win that game. That was brilliant. Even, and I'll defend all the facts. I know the celebration police are always out these days, but when we won that last-minute game against Sheffield United under Ange, celebrate, go mental. It's Sheffield United. We should be beating them. But the context of the game,
exactly.
That last-minute winner was an amazing thing. Like, go for your life.
But not because of the 3 points.
Moments for me.
Not because of the 3 points, just because of the moment that we were struggling, and then we ended up finding it out in the last minute. And I 100% agree with you. 100% agree.
Sean, to follow up on it, right? I think personally, my favorite game I ever watched of Spurs was the 3-2 against City at the Etihad under Conte. Okay. Like, this is the best game I have ever watched, I think, of Spurs, right? The emotion, the pace of the game. And listen, by the way, we played back 3 back then, right? And it wasn't defensive. and
exactly.
it wasn't defensive.
Exactly.
Yes, we had like 30% of possession or 35% of possession, right? But we are constantly attacking them, right? It was like every single time we got the ball, I just felt the quality of the manager, the quality of the players, and the pace of the game was just amazing. And the last minute winner from Kane, right? This was the best game I have ever watched. And in fact, it didn't really amount to anything. Like, yes, the summation of points made it so that we got 4th that season, right? And jumped over Arsenal. So, like, a couple months later, it meant something that we won that game against City, right? But in grand scheme of things, we didn't win a trophy, right? It wasn't like a direct rival that we beat, right? It wasn't like beating Arsenal away or something like that, right? But still, the pace of the feeling of the game was just great, right? Just to back your point, Chris.
The beauty of football is in the swings of emotion, right? For me. So, yeah, that one. If I was going to try and explain why football is so amazing to anybody, I'd probably just play them the quarterfinal, the end of the quarterfinal away at Man City in the Champions League, when there was a video that came out of that of a young City fan. He must have been about 14, who was filming himself at the game. And the sheer joy and emotion that lad had when Aguero scored, and then to watch his face and all the City fans around him as the VAR check came up, and then it came up that goal was disallowed, and you could just hear in the background then all the Spurs fans celebrating. That for me is what makes football the greatest thing in the world, to go from the joy to the despair in a nanosecond. And that's fundamentally what I want to experience, the highs and the lows, and that's not predicated on whether we win a trophy or not.
The one for me was the game against Ajax. It was literally the last couple of seconds. I wasn't even looking at the telly. I had my mother out cold and my other half wandering about the place, basically. I'm just messaging my mate who was a Liverpool supporter. Looks like we ain't going to see you, whatever else. I got a slap round the head, basically. Look. Just as I looked up, the ball went over the line. The whole street heard it and even managed to wake me morphed up mother up, basically, in that aspect.
I tell you, Dan, what I've got in my living room from that game, because of what I was just talking about, the swings of emotions between two sets of players or fans. I got a massive canvas of Mora jumping, and he looks like he's about 10 foot in the air.
Yeah, I remember that.
The beauty of it, the beauty of that picture is not just the Spurs celebrating. It's in the background, the Ajax players literally on the floor.
Yeah.
And that contrast is what makes football that drug for me. And that's what I love about it.
I thought you were going to say that you punched a hole in the wall and you had to cover it up with something.
Just quickly, guys, Lubo, I want to bring you in. Give me the thumbs up, Lubo, when you can hear my voice speaking about you. Oh, you're okay. You're caught up. Okay, nice. You're caught up, Lubo. I do want to get your take on what we've just been talking about, but just super quick. I don't know if you've just seen this story's out on Twitter. So I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you guys saw this story yesterday. I spoke about it on Football Inc. with Johnny. There was a Premier League player that was his agent, or his agent was arrested for holding a Premier League player up, a player worth £60 million, was held up in London by an agent of football. I'm not sure who it was. And the guy was arrested and is now on bail. And it turns out, according to Tuto Mercato Web, that player, this happened a couple of days ago, like yesterday I think it was Destiny Udogie, was the unnamed Premier League footballer threatened with a gun on a street in North London by a sports agent. The agent in question was arrested and questioned. We're all with you, Destiny. It wasn't just him. His best friend was also apparently involved in the situation, and was the agent allegedly, as far again just based off what I've read and heard, was apparently given like a death sentence, not a death sentence, but like a you're a death threat, exactly. Horrendous shit, Luba. I'll start with you, my man. It sounds like you've caught up with us on the on the Wi-Fi. Horrendous stuff. That's going to be shocking PTSD stuff. Would you be playing Destiny? Well, first of all, what do you think about the situation? But secondly, after that, do you want a player playing for you? Does he need to have a bit of time to compose himself?
I doubt very much whether he'll be mentally ready
Lubo?
for tonight. Can you hear me? Sean,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we can hear. Sorry, we can hear you, mate. Sorry, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear. So an agent, a sports agent. Let me get this right. A sports agent has put a gun to Udogie in the street.
Yeah,
but-
and Udogie's
Have I got
friend
this
as well,
right?
his best friend as well. Yeah, and his best friend as well.
Why? Why? Do we know why?
Well, he's just changed agents, so
It sounds
speculatively, maybe it was the guy he left.
Right,
I don't know.
Oh, great
Lubo,
point, great
I don't know why. I don't care why, right? It's a fucked up thing to do.
It's a great point. You know what's weird though? What's weird though, Lubo, is that the guy in the UK, if you get caught with a knife, apparently the rule is that you're refused bail and that you have a 5-year sentence. But this guy's refused. It was released and he's left the country. But he's apparently due to come back in, allegedly due to come back in at some point in the future. How is it that a knife? I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. They should all of it's horrendous. But if you're caught with a knife, then you're given apparently a 5-year sentence. But if you have a gun, that's not the same. I don't know. It's madness. Absolute madness.
No, the one with the knife and everything, that's BS. Yeah. They might be saying that, but that is absolute crap. It doesn't work like that. It should do, but it doesn't. I've seen many situations where people have been caught with things and whatever, and as long as they hand it over, they was able to walk away because there was too many people on the scene to deal with the situation.
Wow.
There's a really high profile incident fairly recently where someone was burning the Quran, I think, outside a mosque, and the guy came out and stabbed him with a knife. He didn't go to prison.
When I worked at Ali Pali, stuff
he
like
stabbed
that,
him,
when there
Chris. Chris, he stabbed him. He actually stabbed him. He tried to kill him, and he didn't even go to prison.
That's nothing abnormal. When I worked at Ali Pali and places like that, especially Brixton Academy and that, when you've got anything from 3,000 to 8,000 to 10,000 people there, the amount of times you'd find things, whatever, the lack and limited police there and everything and that, as long as you manage to hand the tool over, they'd usually get rid of the person. They say that might be the rules, but it just don't really work like that.
Okay, well, listen. I mean, parking aside the politics of the situation, if there's Destiny Udogie, if it is him, does he play tonight? Because that's going to have shaken him up, Lubo. I'll let you answer first, and I'll come around to the others.
Listen, unless he's got nerves of steel.
No, what, Lubo? Sorry, man.
I don't see how he's going to play tonight. I can't see it.
Yeah, it was 2 months ago.
How he's going to play, Sean.
People are saying it was 2 months
where's
ago.
Archie Gray when you need him?
Where's Archie Gray? Michael, I'll come to you. Listen, Lubo, mate. With all, dude, I love you to pieces, mate. But listen, the delay is.
Sorry, it was 2 months ago.
Lubo, I can't do this anymore, buddy. I love you to pieces, man. But you're like 20 seconds behind. You're 20 seconds behind, bro. I can't do it anymore. I love him too much, but I can't do it. Listen, let's get back. So I don't know if it was 2 months ago or not. Was it? I thought this was a thing that happened yesterday or 2 days ago. Was it not?
Look, maybe the information just got out, but
6th of September.
Oh, was it? Okay. Oh, and then he's fine then. He's fine. He's absolutely fine. Fair enough.
Yeah,
There's nothing better of a conversation.
Yeah, so
this show has been so bad. I apologise to all of you. There's 400 people watching this. It's been the worst show I've ever done. I apologise. Fucking hell. What are we saying tonight then? What are we saying tonight, Michael? What would you? Should Odebear be playing tonight, mate? What's your thoughts?
Listen, if we play with wingers, I think Odebear has shown me the most on the left side, which wasn't much, but still the most, right? But listen, I think something needs to change about the approach to the game. I participated in a stream yesterday on Dave and Jack's channel. Unfortunately, I didn't get to say much because I had to go early, but I've heard a lot of opinions and people were debating whether it's like the player's fault or the manager's fault or whatever, like who is to blame for what happened at Chelsea, right? For me, it's just a big conundrum of things, right? It's not only players, right? Yes, the players aren't the best, but I think the approach from Thomas Frank is clearly not working either, right? And I think I've criticized Ange for misprofiling players, and I think he's doing not to the same extent, but he's also misprofiling players, in my opinion. Like, for the love of me, I cannot understand why Porro is the one fullback playing deeper rather than more forward. Like, why are we pushing Spence so far forward when he's the better defender? And on top of that, we also usually played with a left footer on the left side, right? So we had two left-footed players on the left side pushing up, and both of them inverting into the midfield, right, and into the pitch, which makes us incredibly narrow and more focused to the right side because the left side is too congested, right? And then we have Porro, who is like probably the best attacking wing back that we have and probably one of the better ones in the league, playing as a third centre back in a back three pretty much, right? Like, I will criticize Frank for that because I just think he's just misprofiling some players. That's just as an example. And I also think that he has to balance the team a bit more, right? As much as I think that Bentancur and Palhinha individually might be the best midfielders that we have, but as a unit, they don't work. Or as a unit with other players that they have in front of them, they don't work, right? There isn't much of a link up between the double pivot and the Sava's favorite word, double pivot and the front four, right? So I think, listen, I am all for giving Frank as much time as he needs, right? I believe in him. I think he can do maybe not the greatest things, right? I don't think he will win as a Champions League, right? But I think he has enough quality in him, and he has shown me enough quality to believe in him and to believe that he will build something really, really nice with us, right? But I think he needs to change some things, right? But I don't think today is the day to play a back three. I think as a Champions League host playing against Copenhagen, who haven't been doing really well this season, I think we should just play back four, play on the front foot, like allow our players to express themselves and just go for it, right? Because as much as we need a win, we also need a performance right now, because I think so many fans are doubting whether Frank can give us a performance at all, right? So I think this is just a good opportunity to show the fans, to show the home support that yes, we can actually, play better at home against the worst opposition, right? Rather than just playing with a double pivot and defending, right?
So would you do something like this then? Would you stick with the 4-2-3-1 and go? I mean, I put these in because I don't know if Kudus is fit. Apparently, he may or may not be. But I put Johnson
on the predicted. It is saying basically what you've got there, except Kudus on the right, Simmons, Odegaard, and Richarlison, and that's a predicted of 30 minutes ago. But it is only predicted.
I wouldn't be surprised if Richarlison played today, but I don't think Kudus will. From what I've seen so far, I think that Thomas Frank is like that saving the players when he. No, I mean Richarlison instead of Muani.
No, Richarlison up at the front with Odegaard on the left.
Yeah, Odegaard on the left and Johnson on the right. I think that's what we will see. It's not the greatest, right? But yeah, I think so far what I've seen from Frank is that if he can rest players when they are not at their full energy and at the full capability, I think he does it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Kudus today and Spence.
Mm. Is that the formation Daniel's talking about?
Paulinho for Sarr, and then that's it. That's the one it's showing on the link I've got.
We're going for a very defensive double pivot again. Okay.
I would prefer Sarr, definitely. I would prefer Sarr.
Yeah, I think Paulinho's got a break as well. Got a break. I think Pape Matar Sarr has to start this one. You can even make the argument. Oh, Tel can't play, can he? Tel can't play.
Can't play.
I mean, the thing is, you look at that. As soon as Paulinia's gone out of there, apart from Romero, again, there's just where is any creativity and good passing in there, really? I mean, Kudus, I think he's been brilliant for us, but at times I think he's been pretty irrelevant because he gets marked out the bloody game. I think he's tried really well. He's got some good he's had a goal and he's also got some good passes and that in there. But a lot of the time he does get marked out the bloody game. This is why I would want to play him tighter, basically. But I think he's also a bit burnt out because every time it seems to get to around about 70 minutes, I'd say, you can definitely see that the games are catching up on him. And I don't want us to end up going and doing a Saka to him or a Kulusevski to him sort of thing, where you just end up burning him right out. Other things, Simmons at the moment, I mean, to me, he's been no better than Odegaard or Tel. I mean, it's going to take a bit of time, I get that, but at the moment, he's been no better. Maybe he needs this sort of game to get that improvement, to get that chance to do that.
Against Copenhagen concede quite a lot, right? They're quite an open team. And they obviously Copenhagen, like they got Mukuku, they got the guy Larson or whatever his name is, and the other fella that score most of their goals. Like, isn't today the day to play Kolo Muani and to play Simmons, right? Because if those two can get a goal or one or two goals here, that could be the catalyst for their confidence that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, Chris, what's your take, mate?
No, yeah, I completely agree. I'd definitely play Colin Muani, in part still because I think he's building up his fitness still. So I think this is a great
match fitness, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I'd have him in. I'd give Kudus a break personally.
For what, Johnson?
Yeah.
Do I have to?
Probably.
If you want these two to benefit. And I think that sometimes you might have to sort of, sacrificial lamb stuff. He isn't going to do anything. If you bring in Kudus and you ask him, just give us 50 minutes, right? Where's his name? If you bring
I don't mind that. If there's a clear plan that he's only going to play a half or something,
bring him in. Go at the Kudus. Go at the Copenhagen left back. Let them double man him, and he can find a way to get the ball across to Simmons. Then these two can surely get off the mark, right? Simmons needs a goal, and Kolo Muani needs a goal. Obviously, this guy could do with a goal as well. In fact, they could all do with a goal. Like, none of them have scored a goal this season, have they? I think could have scored one. Kudus has one, yeah. But they could all do with something. But if you put Johnson on the right, he's going to be frustrating. Doesn't matter what the caliber of fullback he's playing against, he won't take them on.
He will offer nothing. We're not playing his way now, are we? We're not playing the way that suits Johnson to put it across the goal, sweaty as if you're playing FIFA, basically, for him to tap it in. Where we're not playing that way now, he's pretty much useless. What is he there for?
No, I hear you. I agree. I 100% agree. So I would go with this at the front because I think that if you have him in there and he does get double man marked, Kudus, then if he's clever enough, he can pull the ball back to Bentancur, who can find Simmons, who should be able to have a little bit of space. He can do something. This geezer can do something. If both of those guys score tonight, then I'm so much more positive about what we can do against Manchester United because right now we have a hell of a lot of people that are top talents but just have no confidence, and confidence is a massive part of life. And I think that if you have someone that gets a goal, gets that monkey off their back, they can turn around and fucking celebrate, do the knee slide. Everyone will give them a round of applause, and then from there, hopefully against United, you have a Simmons that's more capable of doing the things that we know he's capable of. But right now, I just think he's on the receiving end of a shitload of hate. So I need to see Simmons play. I need to see Kolo play. But I think all of that starts with Kudus playing. And I know it might be like, oh, what we're doing here, we're going to tire out Kudus when we need him for United. But as you said, Chris, if the game plan is, short-term Kudus, get on the pitch until the game is settled, and then we can bring you off and rest you for the rest of the week. But I just think his presence is necessary to give us a little bit of a chance. I
mean, do you think that would be better off? I mean, if we're playing with four at the back, if we sort of done, I mean, someone's put it on here. I can't see how far back it was, but more of a 4-2-2, like we did against Everton to an extent, where it kept chopping and changing, like tighten it up a bit, basically.
So something like,
instead of having the wingers basically put it in and put someone up front, or even as you're putting it there, sort of thing, tighten
basically
it up
like
a
that,
bit. Because surely they all know that as soon as you mark Kudus out the game, that's Spurs out of a game, basically, to an extent, because we've got absolutely nothing up there that offers anything as yet. That's why I stick with the 3-4-2-1, because our biggest problems are left wing. We've got absolute crap there. Kudus gets marked out all the time and Porro gets focused on. So even if we tighten that one up a little bit there, and yeah, could that work better? Basically playing it a bit tighter so that Kudus doesn't get marked out the game as such.
I think that's what we were trying to do. That one there. I think that's what we were trying to do with this geezer. I think it was more like yes, that's not right. More like that against Chelsea. But this guy getting knocked off, then brought this guy on who can't do that. They could have done that. They didn't. Instead they went to they went back to that, and that's why we struggled, because against the midfield three of Reece James, Caicedo, and Enzo, we were just outclassed basically in the midfield, and that's why that's why you could have done something more like, rather than bringing him on, you could have brought Romero on, and then you could have had something like this when you could have gone to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys, I've got to feed the dogs and then get on the way to the game. So
enjoy the game, mate. Enjoy the game. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Love you, my man. What's the score prediction, Chris?
Oh God, we've got to win this, surely. I'll go 2-0.
2-0.
But we'll see. Like you said when I first joined, I'm not expecting necessarily anything hugely entertaining or easy on the eye, but I really hope I'm proved wrong. But we'll see.
Appreciate you, my man. Thanks so much, buddy. Have a good day. Good night. Take care. Let me just get a couple of super chats that I haven't got to, guys, and then we'll kick on for another sort of 10 minutes, whatever, and then we'll let everyone get on with their evening. Robert Palmer, big up to you, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is a back three will make Porro and Udogie more attacking and get the best out of Xavi. Long term, also perfect for when Vuskovic returns. Yeah, Robert, listen, mate, you're preaching to the choir, buddy. Great take, and I think that Dan and I are on the same page. I think that also Michael's also sort of not against it, right? It's just whether or not tonight's the night to practice it. But next week you have United, and after that you have Arsenal and PSG. So there's going to be games where it suits, but you can't just go cold from a non-practice formation. So maybe tonight is the night to do it. But people have to. I think the fan base needs to see the back three in a model that also plays attractive football to recognise that it's not a defensive formation. Because people think the back three is a defensive thing because they assume it's a back five, and it isn't. It's a back five in possession, but we already do that anyway. We already drop into a back five when we have a four. We already do that with the ball. We're a 4-2-3-1, but without the ball, we go into a five because Polinia steps back, right? So or Bentacle, one of the two do. So it's all like the formation on paper can look away, but it doesn't have to play a certain way. So I agree with you, Robert. Thank you very much for the super chat, my man. And Hollywood Hotspur, big up to you, Hollywood Hotspur. I haven't seen you for a while, buddy. Over from LA, obviously. Go young and hungry. Kolo, Simmons, Odebear, and Sarr. I think that's what we're all predicting that, I think, mate. Big up to you, buddy. Yeah, listen, I need to see Kolo get a goal tonight or chances for a goal. And I think I need to see Xavi Simmons get chances for a goal. And then if we can control possession and do it in a way that gives the ball in the right position for them. If they don't take it, then obviously that's on them. But tonight's the night to allow them to get their confidence up, Michael.
Yeah. As I said, right, we need to go out there today and show that we can play football, right? For the fans, as cheesy as it sounds, right? But I think that there is so much doubt right now in the fan base, right? And it's something that you say spot on, Sean, right? There is so much point scoring in the fan base, right? Everyone tries to get one up on each other, right? And tell you, oh, no, I was right. We should have kept Ange. No, I was right. We should have sacked him, right? No, I was right. Like Frank is clueless. No, Frank is the greatest. It's just ridiculous for me, right? Which is also like partly why I kind of took a step back from like YouTube, watching it and participating in it as much as I did, other than my private life, of course, right? But I was just so tired with the whole like Ange narrative, and I was hoping that changing to like going to a new season with a new manager, that we would kind of get a bit of a, let's call it a soft reset or something like that. And we didn't, unfortunately. And listen, we are where we are right now. But as you said, we need to perform today, and it's also a chance for Xavi, Simons, Colum One to get their first goals, right? And if Xavi doesn't do anything today, if he plays, then I already have my concerns. But if he doesn't do anything today, then what the fuck are we doing? Like,
yeah,
listen, mate, like you are supposed to be a wonder kid, let's call it that way, right? You are supposed to be someone who takes the mantle from Maddison and shows us something, right? And right now it's just not happening. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, you got like you can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it, sort of thing. And I think that tonight will be hopefully be the game where he has enough opportunities to do something that gives him the confidence kick, because it is, we're all humans, right? Like when you're not up for it, when someone's pissed you off, when someone's wound you up, you're off your axis, you're just off your kilter. And tonight's a really good opportunity for the Tottenham players to, for some very specific players to really get off the mark and then to remember who they are, remember what they're about, and hopefully the fan base that are there are going to get behind them. Last couple of minutes, guys. Last little take for you. We'll end off in 5 minutes. Dan, they're going to be playing in front of probably a 65% stadium tonight. What do you expect from the fans? What's your take on? I've actually heard your take on the fan base, and Michael as well. I'll come to you afterwards. Is the fan like there's this whole narrative right now that the manager, the players, they're all coming out saying basically get off our fucking backs. Like back us, help us.
Oh, look.
What's your take on all that?
Everyone's got their own opinion for it. Yeah, my opinion is man the fuck up and grow up here. Yeah. Some people don't like that. That is the way I see it, and we're all entitled to it. Yeah. If you want to be a little bitch and just lay there and mope in it, basically, then do it. If the players want to be preached at and put down and all over the papers, you've been excellent, well done when they play well, then I'm sorry, they got to take the crap when they play like an abysmal game like they did against Chelsea. Now, if they go and just lose a game, but you can see they put the effort in, they ain't getting booed off of there. It's because that game against Chelsea was so pathetic in every which way, they deserve to get booed off the pitch. If they can't handle that, again, purely opinion, go do another bloody job then. It comes as part of the package, and they know that. Starting to get all moody because people started getting a bit moody with them because of the absolute crap show they did against Chelsea. Nah, sorry, grow a pair. Get on with it. Get your act together. Now, I understand that some are a bit more sensitive than others these days, but it's like it's almost a bunch of spoilt kids running around the place when people... But then, what, is it really going to mentally hurt that person that badly that you booed him or told him he had a crap game? Well, okay, if it's going to be like that, then you have no right to be told you had a good game. Again, if there's toxic negative, there's toxic positive as well. It's got to work both ways. You can't just do it one way.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it.
Now, listen, I fundamentally hear you, mate. Like, I think that I've said this a few times recently. Like, I genuinely think that at the end of the day, football, elite sports, it's a performance-based like endeavor, but there's also an element of entertainment. And you go all the way back, right, from time immemorial, the start of the records. Go back to the Romans, gladiators, right? You can win the fight, but if you do it in a boring way and the crowd boo, the emperor's putting his thumb down and you're getting killed anyway. So, like, it's not just about, and this is not a new thing, by the way. This is, like I say, it goes all the way back.
It's part of the package.
You have to entertain. You have to try. You have to show effort. Results and results alone are not enough to satisfy a baying crowd. And you are getting paid a fortune. You get to sleep with the best looking women. You get to drive the best cars. You get to have the 10-bedroom house, all because people like us and everyone in the chat and everyone at the stadium and everyone that pays for a Sky Sports subscription or everybody that buys an OK jersey T-shirt, whatever, it all ultimately goes back to football. And these people are getting paid that money because of people that are hardworking, that do jobs that they don't want to do. They work hard all week. They go to Tesco's, they stack shelves, they clean the sewers, they sweep the streets, they trade, finance, whatever. They're all doing something they'd rather not be doing. They'd all rather be playing football or they'd all rather be doing whatever. But these guys get to do what they love every day and they get pampered and they get a life of luxury, right? And so if they think that it's unacceptable or it's not okay for people to boo, but they love it when people celebrate them and treat them like a rock star when they score, you've got to take the bitter with the better. And I think I understand that they're human beings, and I understand that it's easy to take the adulation, but difficult to take the criticism. But that is life, and it's an amplified version of life. It's an extreme version of life for these people. And for me, I think that begging for more support, whilst I understand that it would be nice, and I get it that booing during the game isn't going to help motivate them. At the end of the day,
not during the game, after. I agree with.
I don't agree with booing during the game either. I think it's not going to help the situation. But I don't think you can expect 60,000 people or 50,000 people to all behave a certain way and to all tolerate underperformance, and then to make out like the reason why they're not performing is because of the fans not getting behind them. To me, I think it's an expectation and an entitlement that just doesn't exist in any other walk of life. Right? If I'm not performing at work, my boss is going to put his hand around my shoulders. If I'm not hitting the numbers, or I come into work with a shitty attitude, he's going to be shitty towards me because I'm not doing it the way that he wants. That's life. Footballers have it no different. They just have an expectation and an amplification of those things that manifest. So I'm with you, Dan, on principle. I think they have to just like man up and recognize the life that they have and the luxuries that are afforded them, and recognize that you can't have it always. You have to, if you want your cake and you want to eat it too, then
you can't just have the privilege. You got to have the other side that comes with it. I mean, this is one thing where I do have a bit of respect for Johnson. I don't rate him as a player in any mean or money. I think he's absolutely terrible, but he was getting a lot of stick. And some of the stuff that happened off the pitch on the social media, unacceptable totally. But then wave and let the players get involved in the social media when you know that life is out there as such. But he got a lot of bloody stick. Do you know what he'd done? He grew a pair and he said, do you know what? He got on that pitch and he still got stuck into it and scored a few goals. Fair play.
He didn't, and then he does that, right? And then he loves doing this to everybody. And that's great. And shut up.
Exactly. And that's what I want. I don't want a little bitch sitting in a corner crying his eyes out because a few people have booed at him and everything. I know we're all different people. Me personally, you start grilling me and telling me I'm doing it that bad and getting on my case. Do you know what? I get a bit of an FU attitude. I'm going to 10 times harder and prove you wrong. I'm not going to be that little thing that sits in the corner and cries my eyes out just because you booed at me, for God's sake. Well, then, get your act together. Grow up here. Like, do something about it. Because only you at the end of the day can change that. It's like what you said. Take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it, basically. You could give a player all the support in the world, but at the end of the day, only he can fix it. When it comes to that final bit, same as a person, you can give them all the support you want, but when it comes to that final bit, it's down to them to grow up here and fix it, because it's only that person who can make it happen, basically. There's nothing wrong with support, but it's down to the person to make it happen at the end of the day.
Yeah. Michael, I mean, these guys didn't struggle during the COVID year when they played without a state. There was no noise at all, right? I remember some of the goals that Sonny and Kane put on during that COVID year when there was absolutely nobody in the stadiums, and the football was fine. So, like, what if it wasn't fine? Was the excuse, oh, there's no one to celebrate us, therefore that's why we're like, come on. Like, I think these football players need, and the manager and all of it, that they can lean into whatever the excuse they want, but ultimately People are going to do what they're going to do. And by the way, the world is fucking shit for more people. For the vast majority of people at the moment, they have less and less money in their pocket. The money they do have doesn't go as far. The world has taught everybody to hate each other. It's a divisive environment. To sit there and say, forget about all that shit. Forget about all that. When you come to Tottenham, we need to have unreserved and inexcusable levels of support, regardless of what we're doing. I think that's an expectation that's just unrealistic given the way the world is. Michael, what's your take on it, mate?
Yeah, so I'm not saying they were surprised by it, right? But it's like judging by what Vicario said. He said that the fans have the right to express their feelings, right? But then again, you act kind of like, for the lack of a better word, surprised that you got booed off the pitch, right? Like, just to add to what you said, Sean, right? Like, our life will most likely always be shittier than the average footballer's life, right? They earn what probably the three of us earn in like a couple of months together, right? They earn it in a week. So
and some,
that's and some, right? I don't know how much money you guys make, so that's why
not enough.
Yeah, but listen, and we live our lives, right? And this is one thing that is supposed to give us joy, right? Which is football. Because let's not like stray away from it. It's entertainment, right? We are watching football to be entertained at the end of it, right? Not necessarily. I'm not talking about the style of play. Just like the fact that you feel part of the group, right? You feel the emotion. You want to get into it, right? And then they just go out there and put a performance like that against Chelsea, against one of the bitterest rivals we have, right? There are some Tottenham fans that hate Chelsea more than Arsenal, right? They have to understand that, me included, right? I don't even hate Arsenal.
I fucking hate Chelsea.
Exactly, right? I hate Arsenal because they are my rival. I hate Chelsea because I'm human, right? That's the saying, right?
No, and as opposed to I hate Chelsea out of choice. That's
and then they put out a performance like that, right? And listen, let's not kid ourselves. They are buddy with Chelsea players, right? Like, players now, there isn't much hate between them, right? But we are not buddy with Chelsea supporters, right?
Yeah.
We after that Saturday performance, we got to hear like that we are shit, right? I was watching plenty of shows, right? Like on different channels, Big Six, like Never a Fall, like all these channels, right? And I'm hearing, oh, you guys are fucking trash. You are no longer at Big Six, right? Tottenham will always be Tottenham. You are small. You are this. You are that, right? You will never be great. And this is because you guys lost, right? You guys put out a performance like that, right? And it's not only like about the fact that you lost, but also the type of performance that you put in, right? Because I think one of you boys said it on one of the shows that I was watching, right? That we lost 4-1 to Chelsea at home under Ange, right? With two players sent off, right? And still, even though it was a bit like cheesy, but we clapped, right? Because we appreciated the effort, right? We appreciated the fact that you didn't want to lose, right? Yes, you lost because you got two players sent off, right? But we appreciated the effort, and I definitely didn't appreciate the effort 3 days ago, right? So first of all, they cannot be surprised, right?
Just quickly on that comparison, because I think it's an important distinction. And by the way, I was never by the end of the Ange thing, I was well Ange out. I was massively Ange out, but never because of his attempts to play football. I appreciated that. I always did. I've always been honest with you guys. I don't value a trophy as much as I do being entertained week in, week out. That's just me. I know it's different for other people. Everyone
each to their own.
Each to their own. I like being entertained. So I appreciated the style of football. The reason why I was Ange out was because of his double talk more than his football. It's because he was finding excuses and then was saying one thing and saying the other. And once I saw that, I was like, I can't. Now you're just a salesman to me. But you go back to that game 2 years ago, Michael, and that we clapped the Tottenham fans that stayed until the end, which was all of them. I was there that day. We cheered our team off the pitch, right? We sung his name, Ange's name. We sang because, and I remember the cheesy. You're right, it was cheesy. Kulusevski saying we lost, but we won in life or whatever, and it was used against us. And and then the fans within the fan base, within the Tottenham fan base, who prioritise the other side, which is success is all that matters, and that it's elite point of elite sports, a trophy, all that stuff. And I've always said this. People that have watched me for 3 years know I always said it's not your trophy. Right? You don't put a hand on the trophy. You are an irrelevant observer of somebody else's success. Not irrelevant, largely insignificant observer of somebody else's success or failure. So like stop attaching yourself to this notion that you're a winner because your team has won, or you're a loser because your team has lost. Otherwise, everybody in life who doesn't support those 5 teams is a fucking loser, and it's bollocks. But that day, we went down to 9 men, and there's almost zero examples of teams that have gone down to 9 men and won the game when you're already losing.
Yeah.
And we tried, and we fought, and we almost. Eric Dyer was a toenail away from equalising. Had we done that, we would have come away with a point, and it would have been a different story. The rest of that season would have been different. Everything would have been different after that, in my opinion. But we lost. We ended up losing 4-1, but we still got applauded off the pitch. And you compare that to the game the other day, same team, arguably a better squad in Tottenham's hands, definitely a better squad in Chelsea's hands. We lost 1-0. It could have been 6-0 if it wasn't for Vicario.
Yeah, easy.
But those that want to defend it say, we only lost 1-0. You didn't watch the game.
It wasn't a 1-0 game, right?
If you're sitting there saying it was only 1-0, you didn't watch the game. It was the effort, it was the energy, it was the trying, it was the things that matter to me as a fan, which is I'm paying money, or I'm engrossed, and I'm supporting you in your endeavors to be a successful outfit. But for me to buy into that, I need to see you lot trying, and I didn't see it.
The fact that it was 1-0 was the positive part of the game. That was the only positive of it. The fact that it was only 1-0. I mean, okay, people can say, but it wasn't, and that's a fact, and that's that. Okay, I get that bit, yeah. But for me, that sets the alarm bells off like it has done when with Monaco. We could have easily lost that 4-5-0 as well. If, again, Vicario wouldn't have been on form. In my opinion, one of the best reflex shot stoppers. Other bits leaves a lot to be desired. But we could have easily lost that game 5-0 as well if they would have had half of their shooting boots on, because Monaco's finishing that day was absolutely nearly as bad as the way we played. Chelsea, 3-0, half-time, easy. Could have, if that would have been 6-0, would anyone have genuinely been surprised by the end of the game after watching that game? I don't think anyone would have. 1-0 was the positive side of the game.
That's why I don't care. Obviously, this is the dilemma, right? And I said this to Saver on the phone earlier. I was like, mate, you have to, because he was saying like he's not enjoying the YouTube space and stuff, and everyone's at each other's throats, and it's one or the other. I was like, Saver, look, this is like, at the moment what you can sit there. People that defend Thomas Frank and won't hear the other side, and then people that are just throwing him under the bus and making out like he has to go, the Frank outs, whatever. Like, there is so much room in the middle. And you have to be in the middle on this one. You have to recognize what he's got, what he's dealing with, how much time he's had, how much time it takes. The reality that the trend in football is moving in a direction that even if you were to throw caution to the wind right now and play a little bit more of offensive football, and then you look at teams like Bournemouth that go to Manchester City, and fair play to them, the courage that they put on against Man City on Sunday, but they were poked off. They were punched in the gut 3 times by a team that was like, fucking hell, a team's come to us and is trying to play, and they're not Man City, and then Haaland does what he does. There's no reward for that courage. And then because the game is pivoted to this like bigger, stronger, faster, nonsense narratives around everyone's searching for
physical monsters.
It's gone back on itself.
Boring. The game's boring. You've got players like even Kevin Danso spends 35 seconds looking for a fucking towel just to throw the ball, and it loops in the end, does nothing anyway. Even the best of the long throw-ins, like the Coyote guy at Brentford, who's like does a better version of the Rory Delap thing, even that takes a minute. You've got set piece FC. You've got the teams at the best, like Arsenal, that are winning games by hook or by crook by set pieces. It's a trend. It's a trend. I hope it doesn't last long. It's fucking miserable. I hate it. It's ruining football.
It will last a little while.
It will last a little while.
Yeah,
but I can understand Arsenal doing it.
Seasons.
I can understand Arsenal or teams like Arsenal doing it because they have a realistic chance of getting a success this season, a trophy. And so to their fans and to that team that have been building for 5 years, by hook or by crook. And if it takes that, do it. But for the teams that are not in that top 5 and the teams that are not facing relegation threats, there is a responsibility to remember that the fans pay their fees. And if you're not going to win a trophy anyway, then you have to consider something towards the element of entertainment. And at the moment, too many teams in the Premier League are not doing that. And Tottenham are one of them. They're not the only team. So I just quickly, that those people that are like, and Frank out or Frank can do no wrong, you're both wrong. You're both wrong. Like, and your arguments are so easy, on both sides. They're so easy to poke holes in because Thomas Frank could do more, and Thomas Frank also can't do everything. So, there's both arguments are entirely flawed. Jump into the middle, people. The water's lovely, where you're balanced, and you can recognize that he shouldn't be sacked, that he needs help, he needs time, he needs better players, and that there's conditions and environments in football right now that don't suit the narrative of playing a little bit prettier because you're going to get sucker punched and the fan bases aren't going to tolerate that either. Like, the only thing that ever works is everyone's happy if you play brilliant football and you're successful. If either of those two things are missing, or if both are missing, if you play turgid shit football and you lose, you're curtains. But if you play good football when you lose, people aren't happy. If you play boring football when you win, people aren't happy. That's just the way the world is.
It's true.
Sorry, then go on.
Okay, just 2 quick points on that. With football, I think it's just the same as life. And what I mean by life, I mean it's the same as fashion. It's the same as music. For me, it goes round in a circle, basically. And then it comes back on itself. Like, you come to a point where there's clothes fashion out there that was out there in 1960, 1980. All of a sudden, that type of clothing is coming back into fashion. And then it'll come out of it. And then it'll come back. It always goes round and comes back on itself. Music is exactly the same. And then when it comes to football as well, the style of football, it's exactly the same. It basically goes round on itself, and then comes back to how it was played there. And it just goes in a circle, basically. With the other bit as well, the thing I think Frank had against him at the start, apart from there were still a lot of Ange lovers, is I just think there's still too many Spurs supporters out there. No, that isn't the Spurs way to play. We don't play pragmatic. What is the bloody Spurs way to play? Does it? I'm sorry, if anyone wants to talk about a Spurs way to play and we play flary football, I wasn't about World War II to film the bloody thing and watch it. So when it comes down to it, what is the bloody Spurs way? When you got people there saying, I would rather lose a game 6-3 and look like we had a fight than scrimp and scrape our way and win a game 1-0. What do you want? What are you actually looking for? I mean, what is this bloody Spurs way? But yeah, that's my bit.
For me, the Spurs way, right? It's not 1950s. You aren't revolutionizing the football, right? You aren't changing from playing 1-2-8 or whatever the formation was in the 1930s, right? To a 4-3-3 or something, right? Because all of it, there isn't much you can do with football in terms of just inventing something completely out there, right? So it's not about the Spurs way. For me, it's about playing in a way that gives you the biggest probability of winning, right? And I've always fought so hard for Conte, right? Where people were saying that we shouldn't be playing free at the back and we shouldn't be playing defensive, right? And my argument was, you have a shitty defense, right?
Just a bit.
And you have a world-class attack, right? And you cannot really transition the ball on consistent basis from the defense to the attack, right? So go route one, go the simplest way from the defense to the attack, which was long balls on Kane and playing on the counter-attack, right? And put more defenders on the pitch because it gives you a better chance of not conceding the goal, right? And you're just saying, it's not the proper way to play football, right? What is a proper way to play football, right? Is it written in the rules, right? That you cannot defend for a certain period of time in a match, right? It's not handball, right? It's not like you have a minute to attack an opposition, right? And then the ball switches to the other side, right? It's if I remember correctly, right? I think
you're right. You're right. Yeah. No one in the English chat's going to challenge you on the rules of handball because it's not a game.
Yeah, you guys don't watch it. That's fair, right? But but you get the point, right? I think basketball has the same thing, right? You cannot keep the ball for the whole match, right? It has to go in both ways, right? So but football is not like that, right? You play the way you should find a way that gives you the biggest possibility, the biggest probability of winning, right? And
well, to an extent, this is the point, right? If Tottenham were, let's say that Tottenham had, 5 people on the team. Listen, I don't doubt that this is the way it's going. Newcastle were ahead of this curve, and other teams are getting there. Tottenham are making a move. Like you have like Vuskovic type level players, right? That are 6'6", 6'7", that are physical, that are fast, or that are mobile at least, that are talented passers of the ball. You had Voltamades everywhere. You have Dan Burns everywhere. You have Vuskovics everywhere. You have Joel Lintons everywhere. Imagine you had a team full of those players, and all that you did was win a corner, fight for a corner or a long throw, and then you just executed every time, or like 3 times in 10, and you won every game 2-0. Apart from just enough games where other teams are better than you at that meant that you were never going to win the league.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fans of that team would tolerate that football until they realized that it wasn't enough to win a league. And then they would get grumpy. Arsenal fans right now are doing what they're doing. They can't break teams down because it's easier to amplify the improvements in the lower block teams to be able to suffocate the technical teams and the teams of possession. And so other teams like Arsenal are forced to go to set pieces, right? And they're very good at it. But Arsenal fans are fucking bored watching their team, but they'll tolerate it because they're winning and they've got a 6-point gap.
A couple of my mates have said
This
that.
has been 5 years in the making for them. If they win the league this year, it will all be worth it.
Yeah.
But next year, the fans will say, "We got that monkey off our back." If they win the double, if they win the Champions League and the league title doing that, how long before they start saying, "All right, now we're a winning team again. Now we're doing what we're doing." But now I'm I want to see better football. I expect the same outcomes, but I want to be entertained more. Everyone wants more, Michael. Everybody in life, you've got an iPhone 18. What's the iPhone 19?
Like us with Ange. Yeah, but we put up with his crap football, got a trophy. Now we want to see better football. You're basically saying same sort of thing.
Yeah, but I want to be entertained more. And even if next season Arsenal go and score 60 goals, right, and they only concede 10, the year after they want to concede 5 and they want to score 80 because everyone wants more. This is the life. This is consumerism. It's 101 consumerism. It's just manifested in the world of football. They'll tolerate what they have to do to get success, but that tolerance won't be satisfying if they're doing the same thing next season because the 65,000 people, or what will soon be 75,000 people at that stadium, will start to say, "What am I paying for? I'm used to winning, but I'm winning ugly. I want to win pretty. Make me pretty."
Yeah, but sorry. So maybe let me reiterate my point because I also I was watching the chat while you were talking, Sean. Right? Like, I didn't mean that if the best. Sorry, let me put it that way, right? Or Chelsea is a great example in my opinion, right? Chelsea, I think the best part of why they were so dominant against us, right? Because they employed a man-to-man marking, right, and they pressed the living shit out of us, right? Like there wasn't a second in that game where a Spurs player got a ball and there wasn't a blue shirt near them, right? But they don't do this on a regular basis, right? Because they found the best way to give them the best chance of winning, right? So I don't mean that if playing a back 5 and just low blocking it, right, is the best way that you have to do it every single game, right? Because there were plenty of games under Conte, even in that good spell that we are playing under him, right, the first season, where playing a back 5 and defending and low blocking wasn't the best solution, right? So what I mean is that I'm not against using the tools that you have, which the tool is a back 5, right? The tool is a double pivot. The tool is a double number 10, 2 strikers, whatever, right? Yeah. But for me, the greatest managers can tweak things, right? So yes, they have a basis, right? They have like a concept of playing, right? So there will be managers that really like a possession style based play football, right? But they will tweak in certain games. They will play with a different type of player. They will like slightly adjust the way they defend, right? So again, like I'm not against using a back five, right? And even for an extended period of time, right? But it has to be a progressive thing, right? It's not like just low blocking, but we start with a low block back five, right? But then when players get comfortable, we push like Porro and Spence up higher, right? We use a double striker formation from time to time if we have to, right? So
would you be happy, Michael? Would you be Michael? So would you be happy if you had Oliver Glasner and his football?
Yeah, I wanted Oliver Glasner over Frank, right? I thought he was like the best.
What formation does Oliver Glasner play?
Yeah, three at the back. Yeah,
always.
Yeah, right? but he tweaks things, right? Like
no,
it's
not
the same.
When was the last time you saw a boring game in a Palace game?
Yeah, that's exactly my advanced point, right? Back three is entertaining as fuck if you play it the right way.
Yes.
Right? Like, first of all, you get the joy of like having three center backs on the pitch, just twatting players of the field, right? Like I love when like players put a defensive crunching tackle, right?
This is why I like CBR so much.
Yeah, but you also have like white wing backs who almost play as wingers, right? Like Daniel Munoz or whatever his name is, right? The right back for Palace, right? Like by the way, if anyone plays fantasy football, right? Like I really recommend him, right? He gets plenty of like attacking returns and is also great defensively in the Palace team, right? But he almost plays as a winger from time to time, right? For Palace, right? You had like Eze and Sarr as like that double number 10 thing, right? That they were doing, but they just like the flow of the team was really great, right? So again, like I'm saying, but there are games where Glasner doesn't play like a full-on attacking side, right? There are games where he plays like really defensively because he uses the tools that he has and he finds the best way to win the game, right? It doesn't work always, obviously. It's Crystal Palace, right? They don't have the greatest players out there.
He has a glass, right? The glass is always the same. Sometimes it's filled with coffee. Sometimes it's filled with tea. Sometimes it's filled with vodka.
Right? Sometimes it's half full. Sometimes it's half empty.
Right, I mean, but the glass is the three at the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the glass is three at the back, but the feeling is different.
He fills it with a different impact. You know, and this. Listen, I think that's a great way to end, guys. We got. It's 5:30. The game starts in 2.5 hours. Listen, I think the takeaway from the show is that maybe the back three isn't a system we can play tonight. Maybe it's not a system we can play at all right now because we don't have enough fully fit centre backs. But I would encourage Thomas Frank to consider activating that element of his game because when we have Dragusin back, I think Dragusin will be a better defender.
He'd be brilliant in a back three.
I agree. Vicario, I've got no idea about. I think it readies us for Vuskovic when he comes back because I don't think Vuskovic will be great in a back four personally, especially a high line, but in a back three, I think he can do what he can do. And I think he's a brilliant progressor of the ball. Guys, listen, Michael, absolutely great to have you, man. Thank you so much. Danny, always a pleasure. Please get over to Hotspur Hood as well. Guys, I want to apologize for the first hour of the show. It was chaos before Dan and Michael came on. It was absolute chaos. Lubo, if you're watching this, my man, thank you for trying. Thank you for your efforts. You came on 6 times. It didn't quite work, but guys, I want to say massive thank you. Quick last couple of seconds. Dan, score prediction for tonight, buddy.
2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs and Michael.
2-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet and win.
Yeah. All right, let me just quickly grab. Guys, if you are watching this, there's 400 people still here. Before you go, do me one favor. Okay? Stay, stop, don't go anywhere. Spread the love, right? There's Hotspur Hood right there. He's just messaged, but this is his link. Just smash that link, and please grab it. Michael, you haven't got a channel, have you, mate? For anything to plug? No. Okay. Please get over to Hotspur Hood. Make sure you subscribe. Let me see if there's anybody that I can. I'm not sure if there's anybody that's streaming right now that I can send you over to. Let's have a quick look. See, is there anybody on? Yeah, the Irish Hotspur's on. Okay, perfect. I'm going to send you over right now to the Irish Hotspur. Stay where you are, guys. Just give me 2 seconds, and I will redirect you all I won't be doing a live stream now because it's too late. But what I will do is, I can already hear his voice. Let me send this over to you guys. Redirect. Bang. Irish Hotspur. Please smash in Spurs Talk Show raid, and I'll see you after the show. If we do lose tonight, then Spurs 5 are going live. If we draw tonight, Spurs 5 are going live. If we win tonight, I think the Spurs 5 won't be, because views are going to view and there's no benefit. But I will be doing a conspiracy theory show instead on Lubo's come back in, but we're leaving right now, Lubo. I've got to go, guys. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you later. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.